Good evening, all. Ira Epstein of Linn and Associates. I don't want to do that. I want to start again. Good evening. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for April 26th, Tuesday, 2022, 6:10 p.m. Central Time. Well, as we look at the markets, you're getting a little bit of a bounce in the gold. The market fell, as you know, earlier this week under the 1900 level. It seems to be holding it. Copper's still under pressure. I'm sitting here looking today, writing my evening update, and according to China, quote unquote, 88% of those that can be vaccinated are, and yet they still have what? They have shut-ins going in Shanghai, potentially now Beijing. I would say their vaccine doesn't work real well. They can claim what they want. You don't see that going on in other parts of the world. So a big problem there. I write about it tonight. Now, there's another event taking place in that Russia is demanding that it start getting its money in rubles, and it is said it is going to shut off gas, natural gas, as of now, Wednesday, to Poland and Belarus. Bye-bye, guys, you're not getting any more gas. Now, they'll both be able to get it for a while from other places, but it's certainly another sign and another lie by Russia. Russia had said they're not going to weaponize energy. They're weaponizing energy. Their argument will be, and I understand their argument as much as I don't approve what they're doing. Hey, you can't pay them in dollars. They're sanctioned, so you got to go to the Gazprom bank, and then our own sanctions, being NATO, don't want that to happen, so they're playing the other game. Okay, I understand. Every side's got its thing. They threatened again the nuclear deal that the West is creating the war in Ukraine, and that all targets are now opening up, and they're actually going after the UK in a major way. So it's pretty nuts. So as we take a look at the market and we look at gold, as I said, maybe you'll reach down to the 18-week moving average of closes. You're only $12.50, $13 away. There's no reason you can't do it. This is another failure. You know, gold is what I call the failure market. Keeps failing, and each failure is lower than the prior one temporarily. We'll see if that holds up. It still has the inflation story going for it. You've got a pattern of a higher high, lower low. That is not a trend. So the market's dropped down under the 18-day moving average of closes, which puts it in target to hit the 100-day, which sort of ties in with the 1888 level on the weekly chart, but more likely you have to take a look, where is the Bollinger Band, and that fits right in. That's 1889.70. So this whole zone is the area where support should show itself. Support is not a turn in the market. Support is just that. It's a target if one is pushing on the short side that you're looking to see if there'll be coverage there. You are oversold as well in the market. There are plenty of reasons here for me to think that the bears are looking for reasons to come out. In the gold-silver ratio here, I'm still here with June gold, May silver. I'm going to change very shortly to July silver and June gold, but it's not time just yet. You can see how that has surged to the upside. It has not gone through this past December's high when it got up near 82, but it's certainly a candidate for a gold star in trying. When you look at silver, we had talked yesterday that if the market rallied, the resistance is now the 200 and 100-day average since the market got under it. You went back to it, and that's what you're challenging. Still going to be there. If you can eventually clear that, you got to also turn momentum to say that, hey, you're going to get that rally back to the 18-day average. You haven't said that yet on this chart. In the copper market, this is a washout, the copper washout due to China. And you can see how the market has just come down. It's a downside move that's fairly abrupt here. Let me show you this. You have first your close and the settlement there at 460.20. If you look at the lower Bollinger Band, 462.80, you're in the lower quadrant. You followed through in the lower quadrant on Monday, and that sets up that this is a real price break. You made a lower and low, real being that it's going to be very difficult to just get up and over that number. I expect that it will in time. But I think that's the other side of this COVID outbreak in China. So I think you've got to be patient and wait. I want to come back there a moment. The first resistance on the way back up is what support was. Let's call it the 452.85 area. In the platinum market, same thing with metals. Anything to do with China, metals are getting hurt, and that's what's putting it down. Interesting how the market's moving now to the right-hand side of the Bollinger Band, but it's a vertical price drop, not a trend trade. You have a higher high and lower low, just a market to walk away from. And the better-looking market has been the palladium, which is still basically caught in all this sideways action. Now, yesterday, if we take a look at the market, if I can get the chart to work here, we got to the lower Bollinger Band, but settled underneath the 200 and the 100 day. Normally, if you bounce, that'll be your resistance point. That's what you did today. Next support point, if you break through 2103.45, and now in order to get up, you'd still have another layer if you get through all these moving averages, the 200 and the 100 at the 18. Just an ugly chart. You might say, should I go short to yourself? Well, you don't have a trend. You got a higher high and lower low. In the dollar index, I like the dollar index. I've been telling traders that I like it in my ETFs. I'm doing it in the futures, and you can see how it keeps climbing. Do you buy the Bollinger Band? No. You're buying these type of breaks when you get it, as long as the slow stochastic, in my opinion, stays embedded. And that's what I teach. If you haven't learned how to work with enhanced Bollinger Bands, as I call them, the combination of this with the embedded part, let me teach you about it. Take a look at this. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software, so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.